works so well, people don't even realize what it's costing. Oh, you're here. Fear based parenting works so well. That's why so many loving parents rely on it. And that's exactly why damage goes unnoticed. If you ever thought, oh, at least my child listens, stay with me for a minute. Most parents don't use fear because it's cruel. They use it because it works fast, because it brings relief, because it stops the chaos. And from outside, it looks like good parenting. Fear doesn't usually show up in parenting as anger. It shows up as control. It sounds like structure. It sounds like discipline. It sounds like I need my child to listen. And in the moment, it works. The behavior stops. The house gets quieter. Situation feels handled. For a parent who's already tired or overwhelmed, that relief matters. And because the result is immediate, fear starts to feel efficient, not harmful, efficient, and it's also familiar. Most parents are repeating what they have experienced, not because they agree with it, because it's the only model they were ever given. And then it gets reinforced by family, by culture, and by the comments like, at least they listen, at least they are well behaved. Those comments don't just praise the child, they praise the method. So fear slowly gets framed, not as something extreme, not as something damaging, but as something necessary, something that works. And once fear is labeled as working, most parents stop questioning it. When fear is used consistently, children don't just learn how to behave, they learn how to scan. They start watching their tone, facial expressions, mood in the room, not because they are emotionally mature, but because they are trying to stay safe. Behavior becomes less about understanding and more about prediction. What will happen if I say this? Or what will happen if I do that? This is where many parents get confused. The child looks calm, they don't talk back, and they are following every rule you ever gave them. But internally, something else is happening. The child is learning avoidance, not regulation. Silence, not self control. Fear doesn't teach children how to handle emotion, it teaches them which emotions are unsafe for them to use or to show. Anger gets hidden, sadness gets swallowed, curiosity gets edited. Slowly, children learn something very specific. Being honest is risky, not because anyone said it out loud, but because honesty kept leading to consequences they don't know how to manage. This is how children become easy, not regular, just careful. The cost of fear rarely shows up in childhood, it shows up later in adults who struggle to name what they feel, who are capable and responsible, but constantly anxious about things going wrong. Adults who learned early that mistakes came with the consequences they didn't have tool to handle. They became careful. They learned how to read the room, how to keep the peace, and how to stay small when things felt tense. Many of them say, I turned out fine. They are functioning, they are productive, they are respected. But functioning is not the same thing as feeling safe. Fear doesn't just shape behavior, it shapes relationship. Often, this is where parents feel distant. Not rebellion, not chaos, just absence. Authority does not require fear. Real authority comes from safety, from consistency, from predictability, from a child knowing what to expect even when they have made a mistake. Children don't need parents who never get angry. They need parents who can be angry without becoming unsafe. Fear controls behavior. Safety builds regulation. One works quickly, the other works deeply. And if this feels uncomfortable to hear, that doesn't mean it's wrong. It usually means it's touched something you were never allowed to question. If this made you uncomfortable, subscribe. This channel is for parents who are willing to rethink what they were taught in order to be better to their children. I talk about the parts of parenting most parents avoid.